Good job. Are we ready to go? Sweet. How is everybody? So good? I have to look at all your faces. Hi, Danny. Where's your baby? She's sleeping? Over there. That's why we all got on, was to see the babies, but whatever. All right. I'm in Pomegranate Market, so I need to make sure y'all can hear me well. Where do you think my mic is on this? Can you guys hear me? Is it cutting out? Not really? Okay. So we wanted to just get everyone together and really help this Diamond Club experience feel a little bit more collaborative, because the more I've been talking with myself and everybody else, I feel like a lot of the things that will hold me back or anybody back from doing it is kind of feeling like you're on your own. And I think a lot of us are in a place in our business where we're restarting a little bit. The last couple of years have been awesome, but there've been some challenging seasons, and with builders that come and go, and I'm kind of learning that's a little bit of what doTERRA entails, but it's definitely doesn't take away a little bit of the discouragement, at least from some of the leaders that I've been talking through. And so when this opportunity for Diamond Club comes up, I think in the first 5 minutes, you know how strong your mindset is, because you will talk. Am I the only one that was like ready to talk myself out of it within the first 5 minutes of them like going up? I'm expecting this huge announcement about I don't know what I was expecting. It wasn't Diamond Club changes. And Chris and I have just been talking a lot about it recently, and I think there's a lot of misconceptions about Diamond Club. There's a lot of limiting beliefs, and I just wanted to have an opportunity to sit with all of you and just kind of talk them out and hash them out. This time around, even diamonds are eligible to participate in the Diamond Club and win prizes. So Chris and I are actually like right there with you all this time, and so we just wanted to create a space where we could be really real and raw and honest with what would maybe limit us from jumping into oil camp, and seeing if maybe anybody else resonates with that, and figuring out some solutions, or just making sure we're real clear on what the requirements are and how simple it will be to participate. Plus, this time around, participating in oil camp. Wow, you can see what I was just doing previous to this moment. Participating in Diamond Club actually requires 3 to 4 sponsors who are paying $75 a month for you to be involved, which ultimately means you get paid $300 every month that you complete and stay in Diamond Club. And so that's a big investment for a lot of us, and but we're like really excited to do that, and would be thrilled if we could spend some serious money investing in your guys' teams over the next few months. So I don't know, Chris, where you want to transition to. I guess I can share with you that some of the limiting beliefs for myself is, and that have limited some of my leaders in the past, is number one, I don't know if I can even get through the qualifications to get started with Diamond Club. A lot of the limiting beliefs for myself and others in the past have been, I don't have the time to create chaos in my schedule for the next 4 months, traveling and teaching dozens and dozens of classes. And so I don't know if you guys resonate with some of those. Maybe you guys have leaders that just aren't on board and you don't know, you feel like you'd be doing it by yourself. And so we wanted just to create a space where we could collaborate with some ideas, some brainstorming ideas on how to get builders and sharers more involved. Chris has some thoughts on that. And then Tyler wanted to explain a little bit about how you could really use this season as an investment in your business with the $300 that you're getting paid by your uplines to be participating in this every month. And then my biggest thing is, what if you do well and you end up making $5,000, or like there's so much cash giveaway, like how could that impact your family and your business moving forward to really just see where it goes for 4 months? You're muted.
That's good, Mel. Thanks for sharing. I think starting from that point, just like us all acknowledging that like fear and limiting beliefs that come up for everybody are normal is really important. And so that being said, I would love all of you, if you can, just go ahead and type in the chat one or two things that are like the first fears, or like things that you're like, I don't know if I can do that, or I don't know if my team can do that, or whatever it is. Like, I would love to know like what specifically those things are for you that pop up. Yeah, whether it's time or anything like that. And then that being said, I guess like, I don't know that if this applies to everybody, but I know this applies to a lot of you. And I would just say that if you would consider yourself to be someone that feels like God has led you to this business, number one, and number two, you feel like God's putting that on your heart that you want to rank advance within the next year.
Is she cutting out for everybody or just me?
It's cutting out for everyone, or it's good for you, Audrey?
Is it just me? I couldn't understand your number one.
Oh, shoot. Okay, so again, this won't apply to
It's cutting out for you. Yeah.
Dang it. Is it still cutting out? I'm gonna try to switch over your desk. Okay, I'm just gonna try sitting over here instead. So again, this is no, not better. Dang it. How is it as I walk? Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Yes? Okay, so my number one is, if you would consider yourself to be someone that feels like God led you to this business, which I think is a lot of you. And number two, you feel like God is like giving you the desire to rank advance this year. Then like, first of all, I just like want to acknowledge that's not an accident. And number two, like, I just think like when we're willing to, number one, pray that those dreams become a reality, and then number two, partner with God in that and take action forward, like he wants to bless it. And I just, because of that, I'm like, Diamond Club in my experience has been like a no-brainer way for doTERRA to help me experience success in the fact that like people that come to my classes get free stuff. I can get free money and that I can invest in my business, and like it gives me extra accountability, I guess, towards like I have to like now it's you have to enroll 2 people a month during Diamond Club, and then you have to have the team enrollments too. So anyways, all that being said, I just wanted to encourage you guys with that, like, because I just felt like that was what I was feeling for myself personally, and I know that applies to a lot of you guys. So that all being said, we want to like be able to have lots of Q&A during this, and thank you for those of you that are sharing the things that are holding you back in the comments. Yeah, because we really want it to be a Q&A, so we won't be talking the whole time. But Melissa mentioned the initial qualifications to see if you can get 3 enrollments either this month or next month. Ultimately, the requirements, the qualifications, Melissa, you can correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, like it started back in October. So if you've had any months where you've had 3 enrollments of 100 PV, you're already qualified. And then you have to have 10 100 PV LRPs on your team, which would be all of you, I'm sure. So that being said, if you're someone that doesn't have 3 enrollments in a 1 month period of time since October so far, I think the thing that I would encourage you in is that in general, it would be amazing for you and for your business to be listening to the daily mentor calls and to start sampling the way Elise samples. And have you guys all started listening? I think you all have. Yeah? Raise your hand if you have started listening to the daily mentor calls. The way she samples, I've not been doing consistently. And so I just think, of course, like if I keep doing the things the way I've done in the past, it's hard to expect a different result. But if I commit to doing things a different way, I just think it could be so possible for y'all if you even like commit to yourself, like I'm going to use Elise's scripts and reach out to maybe it's 10, maybe it's 20 people before like say the first week of February, you want to get those out in the next 2 weeks or something like that. And I think then, sorry, then I just think it would be so possible for you guys to be able to get those enrollments as you try the new system. And I also think it will build your belief and your confidence in it. So then as you share Elise's system with your sharers and your builders, your confidence will be so much greater, and it will just create greater momentum on your team. And they're seeing you do it too, you know? So anyways, hopefully that covers stuff about qualifications. But what other questions do you guys have? Danny shared.
I don't think there's really many that.
Oh, go ahead.
Is there really any? I don't know. Didn't almost everybody get close to that in October and February, or October and November? Audrey, you're qualified, aren't you? Audrey's frozen to me.
Yeah,
Okay.
Audrey's qualified.
So, Audrey, and you're qualified, and I guess I don't know about my mom, but
I think for sure.
I can't remember how many you had that 1 month.
Stacy, yeah.
And
oh, go ahead.
Londa, I think 2 enrollments in November, like if you have every other qualification, I think it's still worth applying, even if February didn't work out. Like, I just feel like that's just got to get off the table for all of us, is like the qualifications. Like, who cares about the qualifications? I think all of you are already like 90% qualified. And if you don't make it in February, I'd still apply, because they want people doing Diamond Club. I think the biggest thing is that should be discussed and like worried about is like what you're going to do for the 4 months during Diamond Club. I feel like we're getting like so hung up on the qualifications, but all of you all are like qualified or like 90% qualified. Did you see some talk, Chris, about 2 enrollments somewhere? Or was that me? Just me?
I didn't, but I'm not good about watching.
Oh, okay. Anyway.
can I share
Mike's-
for those who are concerned about qualifications? So I did Diamond Club last spring, and I didn't have it was December as a qualifying month, and I had 1 enrollment, and I think it was 2, or I had 2 and it was 3, whatever it was. I was 1 short of it, and I just reached with the Diamond Club team to ask them if they would still consider my application, and I was highly encouraged to apply yet, and was accepted. So don't let that be a hang up for you. And also, I just want to share, like, we're never gonna have time, right? So like, if you wait till the
Says
time
the pregnant
is,
lady.
well, yeah, like I'm going to have a baby end of May, and I'm planning on doing Diamond Club. So I'm not saying that to shame anybody, but like just realizing like life is not going to get slower when I have 4 active kids. So it like, why not do it now? They're doing it once a year now. It's a 1 season thing, and time is never going to be ideal. So if that's your holdup, you carve out that time. And we just called it an intentional busy season for us. 4 months of an intentional busy season, realizing that that was our focus, and that we still did fun things as a family. But like for you, if that $300 a month, when you're getting that, if that's not going to benefit you, like if you have tons of points and you're using that and you're set up for supplies for sample, maybe that $300 would be like a really lifesaver for you if you could use it for a house cleaner, so that you feel sane coming home, or your husband feels sane, or you're using it for childcare to go on dates with your significant other, or you are using it for a massage for yourself to like treat yourself to some self-care and like reward yourself along the way, instead of waiting until the end and feeling like all these limiting beliefs that it's not possible, it's not going to happen. Like, if you're saying that to yourself, it's not going to happen. So you just need to hush that voice up and speak truth and life into yourself. And I know you all are so capable of it, and it's going to be life-changing for your teams. And I did Diamond Club and I didn't rank advance, but it created some amazing momentum for my team. And I have been solid at my rank since doing Diamond Club. So like, it's an amazing opportunity. I think with Elise's model, like it's impossible to not rank advance with it. But like, don't let that be a holdup for you, that like, I'm not set up for structure for diamond or for platinum or whatever, or gold, like whatever your goal is with it, That's okay. This is such an amazing time for you to be poured into through doTERRA and have that mentorship as well. And for you to financially free up some time for you to invest into your team and to your builders and to share these products that are literally life-changing to people. So that's what I have to offer. I'll just zip it now.
That's such
Boom, mic drop.
yeah. The thing that I was gonna say is, like, of course we're not here on this call to convince anybody, but I still feel like there's some people holding back and not saying all the things that are limiting them and like making them not fully commit to wanting to do this or excited about that. And so I'm gonna start by being really transparent. As I walked into this year in general, my limiting belief has been time. I don't feel like I have enough time for all the stuff we need to be doing for Antioch and church planting and moving to London. I don't feel like I have enough time to do all the things I want to do with my boys and my family. I don't have enough time to do all the things I want to do for my team. And therefore, I feel like I don't have enough extra time to commit towards more builders to go for Blue. And all that being said, I like coach myself through, like, God, you put this dream on my plate, like what's the way? And for me, like, my thing that I'm reminding myself is I am supported. And so what does that mean? We've taken extra money. We've been even more diligent. Like, we're really getting diligent again about our budget, and we're investing money into childcare forever, twice a week. And yeah, childcare forever. You guys get it. Anyways, and so that's been my way of like making space so I do feel supported and I don't feel this constant like I can't do it all. And so again, if you haven't shared your hangups in the comments, please do. One that I wanted to address that was shared and we haven't talked about before is two of you had said that you feel like you're doing it alone. And I resonate with that feeling of just like, I don't know who's gonna join, like, who are my sharers and my builders that are gonna jump in with me. And number one, I think this month, because we have time to prep, it's a really, really great time to focus in on Elise's find a builder calls and like find new people. But then number two, something else that I wanted to share that has been really encouraging me. Tyler and I, at the beginning of, mid into January a little bit, we reached out to some sharers and builders that were in, like, they're sharers, they're all sharers, but they are on our lower levels. They're not our enrollments, but they were in holes where we were going to be short for Diamond this month. And we gave them an incentive to listen to the first 8 daily mentor calls on sampling. And then we told them, if you listen to those 8 calls, share 20 samples, just like how Elise teaches you to, and then have a call with your enroller, or a class with your enroller before the end of the month, we want to give you this. And we gave them this incentive. And not everybody took us up on it, but it's been really sweet. And I just want to share 3 specific stories, and then I want to open it up for ideas, because I think this is something like really duplicatable we can all do. I think this is one way you can add additional excitement to the people already on your team, and it will leave you feeling more equipped as you go into Diamond Club. Number one, if you're reaching out to more, to find more builders, and then number 2, jazzing it up, doing a little bit different, bringing excitement to your existing team, I think, and really like equipping them, training them. So many of the sharers on our team have never been actually taught how to teach a sample, right? Like, we just like assume everybody knows how to do it, but it's like Elise walks through all the details. So anyways, all that to say, I'm just going to quick share the stories. Number one person has already listened to 15 of the calls. She's shared multiple samples, and she's planning to have a class at the end of the month. So she was the one that was like the most excited from the start. She went all out, and she was like that from the beginning. Second person, I reached out to her. She seemed kind of excited on the phone, and then I followed up with her a couple days later, and she's like, I don't think I have enough people that I can sample. I only have like 5 people I could sample. And I was like, look, Rebecca, I really think you need to this literally a text. I was like, I really think you should start listening to the calls and then go from there. Elise really helps you to see who are the people in my life that I could sample. Followed up with her again, and my phone's in the other room. But anyway, she texted back and said she has started sampling. She like scrambled to find 15 sample vials, and now she's doing a class at the end of the month. Third person told me right away on the phone, she's like, look, I don't have enough time. This has always been my struggle with doTERRA. I love it, but I don't have enough time. And I was like, that's okay. Just like go ahead and start listening to the calls. I know you're going to love them, and they'll still empower you for the times that you do sample people, even if you can't do the full challenge. And she started listening to the calls during her lunch break, like she told me she was going to. And when I followed up with her, she had already sampled 4 people, and she was asking me how she could reach out to talk to a friend that lives in a neighboring town and uses a different brand of oils. She's like, she loves oils, but she uses this other brand, and I just think she'd really love doTERRA. How should I talk to her about it? I'd love to give her a sample of doTERRA to experience the difference. And so anyways, this is literally 3 people, and I would have to double check my numbers, but I don't think any of the 3 have enrolled anybody within the last half a year. Like, they're not doing anything. And they've been on our team for a while. And the last person I told you, remember the one that said she didn't have any time? She told me, I also decided that I think I want to start having a class every single month. And she lives at a distance from her enroller, so she literally has to teach the classes on her own. So anyways, I share all that to say, like, the daily mentor calls themselves, if you get your people listening to them, you'll be amazed what happens when people become empowered and feel more clarity around what the steps are that they have to do. Like, I think a lot of people are just afraid because they don't know how to do it. Like, they don't know how to reach out to people they don't see, and they don't know how to reach out to people that have never told them, like, oh, I have a headache. Like, they don't know how to do it. And so the daily mentor calls just make it a lot easier for them and more approachable. So anyways, I'm going to stop now. But I would love to hear, like, what do you guys think of that idea? Like, incentivizing shares or builders on your team. I thought like something fun might even be like, so we get offered straight up cash to these people because we'd rather pay our sharers to have more money. But I think that for you guys, because you might not be at a point where you can offer that to people on your team, something that I'd encourage you to think about is, like, so many of your sharers are likely like would go crazy about having rose in some form. And I'm talking like rose in a roller bottle, like dilute it, give them a fun roller bottle blend if they just commit to listening to the first 8 calls. Or an aroma touch. If you're trained in the aroma touch, you could give them a free aroma touch technique. Do you guys have any thoughts? Londa, you could share your experience with it with Anna Burnham. She looks like she's frozen.
Am I good?
Oh yeah, you're good.
Yeah, so Kristen and Tyler did this with a share on my team who's been kind of out of it for probably a couple years now. She went through a divorce and is living with her parents again, and she's wanting to get back into the business, but yeah, Kristen and Tyler reached out to her with this offer, and she has I don't know how many people she's sampled in the past couple weeks, maybe like 6 or 7, and she created a little sample pack that she keeps in her bag with her all the time, so she's ready to sample people. And we have a class set up for Thursday this week, so yeah, I just thought that was really cool to see her back engaged again. And like I said above, that I feel like I'm doing it alone, but I would say that Anna right now is an exception to that. Like, I feel like yeah, she would be someone that is in it with me and would be excited about Diamond Club. So I definitely plan on reaching out to more of those types of people on my team and just getting them excited again and offering that to them as well.
Because how many personal enrollments do you have to have each month?
For Diamond,
2.
you have to have 2, yeah.
To keep going on, you have to enroll
2
people.
14.
Yeah, it's so little this month. So like, that's why I think this whole strategy with the builders and shares is so key, because they're going to be making up 75% of your enrollments of your qualifications. So if you can get your builders and shares just sharing samples, like the enrollments are going to just feel really easy.
Is it 14 total and then 2 of your own and 12 of others, or 16 total? 2 of yours and 14?
14 total. So 12 will come from your team. Or, I mean,
And
more can come from you, obviously, but.
You can do an online class as well. You have to have it pulled up here in front of me, but I think you had to have 4 classes. Correct me if I'm wrong there. And it has to be 2 enrollments at a class for it to count. But you can do online classes, you can do one-on-ones, and even like the hug rule is not in effect, which anyone who's familiar with Diamond Club in the past is huge. So you could, I think, unless I'm wrong here, but how Kristen taught a class through Zoom for one of her builders who lives a distance away, lives in Iowa, and she's in Texas. She taught a class through Zoom that was really successful, Elisa's model. Those will count for a Diamond Club. Like that's a class as far as I understand it, unless I'm misunderstanding that.
And I think
so
if
you
just
can support builders unique ways.
I think if you just set a rule that you're not going to teach a class that hasn't been sampled appropriately through Elisa's style, like you have a bunch of builders and shares inviting to the one class this week that you're hosting, and they cannot send an invite unless they've been sampled appropriately, then maybe you only have 5 show up, but 4 enroll, like because they're all been sampled appropriately, rather than have a class where 8 or 9 come and 1 enroll because they weren't sampled appropriately. I think the Diamond Club has a whole new perspective to me, because I actually know how to teach people how to sample and get someone to a class. That's what the whole first set of calls that Kristen's talking about is on. So it's just totally different. I feel like with Emily, what my oversight was on that was she's running around like a crazy person, because she has to do like 30 classes a month to get the amount of enrollments. But Emily, would you agree with me that if we were sampling with Elisa's and like the people that you went and taught classes for, if they had sampled, like you would have had to have done way less classes to get your minimums?
Yeah, hands down, yes. Yeah, Londa just asked if you invite 14 people to class, does it count as a class? It doesn't, but that is, I confidently believe that's 100% not possible if they've been sampled effectively before they come to the class, because they come ready to buy.
So with one-on-ones, I mean, obviously that one enrollment would count towards your 14, but that one-on-one wouldn't necessarily count as a class.
Because you technically only need to have 8 enrollments from classes. Do you see how that would work?
Yeah. So you should have more than 4 classes scheduled in case only 1 person enrolls. Obviously, that hope
potentially
not have that happen, but
that's why I think the online is such a sweet thing. Like I feel like you do your online as kind of a last ditch at the end of the month kind of class, you know, like the last couple of days, do online if your in-persons haven't rolled out. That would be my thought on the strategy of it. But that's why I was saying, if you did only have 1 class a month, or a week, 1 class a week, and your builders and shares knew they couldn't invite unless they had sampled their people effectively, I don't think you're going to have a class where you don't get 2 enrollments. It's going to be weird.
Right. Yeah. I see that.
And you could even use the $300 to incentivize builders. So if they don't have the oils to sample effectively, we all have a pretty healthy stash, right? Like if you don't have it, talk to your upline. If that's me, I've got your back. But
Emily's given everyone oils. Yeah,
right. Come on over. The supply is not short there. But maybe an incentive for them would be like, I will give you a $25 gift card to Target if you effectively sample. You listen to the first 12 calls of Elisa's model and you effectively sample 20 people this month and get them plugged into classes. You're going to have 15 of them enroll. That's just like statistically, they've invested a lot of money and research into this, and statistically, it's going to be super high enrollment. Did I just drop the mic?
Is ours end still freezing a ton?
I haven't been staring at you. I don't know. What else do you guys want to talk about when it comes to Diamond Club?
Is ours?
Chris, what happens if you qualify, you apply, you're accepted, and the first month it's a bombshell?
It's gonna really suck because you'll have talked.
And you get like 3 enrollments.
It's gonna really stink.
What?
You have talked to all your sharers and builders about doing all the daily mentor calls, and that would have been a lot of work. And I don't know. Like I really, in my mind, I like walk through all these. Like I don't know if you guys are like me, but I like walk through all the like worst case scenarios, like what Melissa's doing, and I just don't see one that's bad, unless for me, I can get competitive. And so like if my mindset is stuck on I'm gonna win and then I don't win and I told everybody or something like that, then I'd be embarrassed and really bummed out at myself. But that's for me the only negative, because even for ourselves personally, I'm like, if I only make it 2 months through or 1 month through or whatever, I'll still have been happy that I did it, because I got $300 one month and got my team more excited about daily mentoring. More people like were fully trained
And then every enrollment that you did enroll will get a special gift. Like they're all going to get an extra oil for enrolling. So I keep forgetting that when you're in the class, you're going to have that extra incentive for enrolling too.
Yes.
Anything extra, getting people on LRPs after the fact, or is this focused on new like enrollment, just enrolling?
No. The point system in the past has always been, if you get them on 100 PV LRP months 2 and months 3, you get additional points for that. And that can be higher than the points you get for the enrollment, depending on which starter kit they end up starting with. And maybe Tyler, you started to speak, so I cut you off. I'm sorry. Maybe you have more information on like the points themselves.
I just asked Kristen to pull up the actual like website, because
I have it here, and all it has is the qualifications to participate. And then if you try to log in to apply, right now the site is down and has been for a while. So has anyone else been able to actually log in?
you should be able to click on monthly requirements and it'll tell you.
Oh, that's right. It did have a drop down. The site is just
super slow.
It's so bad right now. It doesn't work. You can't log in.
Can I just say that it's going to be, I experienced the most humble thing in my life, and it wasn't through Diamond Club. Like if you sign up for Diamond Club and the first month you have 12 enrollments, like talk to your Diamond Club manager to see if you can get an exception to continue on. But if not, like, good grief, what an amazing month of enrollment. And like, this is not going to be something that's going to be like covered on the news in your area or published in your paper, where people are going to be like, Emily Paulson failed at Diamond Club. Even if it was, no one in my town is going to know what Diamond Club was. I had a front page article in the Volga Tribune, which y'all read weekly, I'm sure, when I left for Peace Corps, and I was going to be gone for 27 months, and I was back in a month and a half because it was a really poor fit and I did an early termination. And that was so much more humbling than the thought of not, it's not failing in Diamond Club. It's you don't excel on, but like any movement is movement. So I don't think there's any failure within it.
Yeah, that's what
we all knew you were in love, and that's why you came back. So there was no shame.
Not a good fit. Yeah. Yeah, I think like what's failing, I don't really think there is failing. I think not trying is failing, because I think if you're on this call, you're wanting to move your business forward, and why not do this? Like, why not have your uplines and doTERRA investing in the growth of your business? Like, if you want your business to grow, this is free from doTERRA uplines into your business. Like Emily said, you can use the $300 a month for whatever, for gas, for babysitting, for massage, for a cleaner, for incentivizing, like you guys were talking about earlier.
For sponsoring 4 of your leaders doing Diamond Club.
For that. But the
They'll
ultimate,
just take my money and transfer it out.
right, but that's like we asked Callie about some of our upline, and if we should even ask them, she's like, they're getting a check from you, of course, not for you. Like, they,
Elliot 2 chunks for me during the week. And so anyways, all that to say, that's not necessarily an answer for you, but more of like I would just want to spend time thinking like, how can you do this in a way where you feel supported as a homeschooling mom, and maybe like engage your community, your village around you a little bit more for a temporary season, because they all love you and they all want to support you, and you have incredible community. So just like, I don't know the answer, but again, just like thinking through it, process it with Zach, maybe process it with some of your closest homeschooling mom friends. And because like for us, that was an important part of prepping Diamond Club, was feeling well supported. And so we also had my mom. She came up a few random times, and we told her like, Mom, we're going to be in a push season for our business. Would you be willing to come up to Sioux Falls and help
like
watch
Elliot
Elliot once a month? And we asked her ahead of time. We didn't have all the dates, but she was like, yeah, I'll do that for you guys. And so anyways, that's my only thought for like time things. And I encourage everybody to do that, not just you, like all of you. Think about how you can be well supported and not feel like a crazy person just because everybody like talks about Diamond Club being insane, which it is busy. Like, what are the ways that your experience can be different and you feel well supported and not crazy?
I think busy is the wrong word, because some of you have already done this exact season. You guys have gone through 4 classes a month. Like you guys have done that already.
Yep.
You guys have already done this. The way they have Diamond Club set up right now, you guys have already done it. You just weren't paid $300 to do it. Like, I can, at least for anyone that's on my team, I feel like I can speak really confidently that all of you have had seasons where you've taught 4 classes in 1 month. And now we actually have a sampling guide that you can hand to your leaders without having to train them through it and walk them through it. Talk about time saving. All these people that I have been recently in conversation with about getting back involved, I'm like, awesome, start on dailymentorcalls.com, create a login, and text me a picture of your hundreds list when you get it done. And if they don't move forward, then I don't have to babysit them, and I don't have to teach them how to do it. It's like all right there, so it's saving me so much time on working one-on-one with builders and shares. And then I can take that time and do it myself. The hundreds names list, reaching out, sampling. Anyway, I'm just saying, I don't think busy is the right word. I think focused is the right word. I think intentional is the right word. A focused, intentional time. And I think that's actually what you guys all really want, is 4 months of focused, intentional building that's really effective and gives you good results, that leads you into a momentum into the summer when it's already a little bit challenging. And I think the $300, if I am planning to apply and I want to take that $300 and take a partial chunk of it and invest it ahead of time with the expectation that I'm going to qualify, and travel to one outside region and really just find 4 outside regions that I can really invest in. And maybe outside means 45 minutes away. Maybe it doesn't mean an airplane ride, but during that season. And so make it just this tiny bit like the old Diamond Club, but still have a chance to reach outside of my zone. But I'm not going to go there unless they've listened to the mentor calls and they've sampled the way, so that when I show, it's going to be like guaranteed results.
And the other
and what do you think is going to happen if you wanted me to take charge, Chris, remember? What do you think is going to happen if your builders do the mentor calls, sample effectively for the first time for most of them in their business, and get 3 to 4 enrollments at a class. What do you think that's going to do for them? It's going to light them up. And then they're going to be like so much more energized to continue in their business than if you don't.
I feel like, so it's like, yes, it's fast start, like Kristen just commented, for these shares and builders. But what we're finding is there are lots of, and this falls on us, like, I'm not projecting this towards anyone. Like, there are so many people on our team that we just haven't had a clear system before on how to sample, how to contact, how to invite, how to enroll, and how to follow up, and like that whole process. And so that's where people who aren't like really self-motivated and driven to figure it out and to commit to it anyway, they fall off. And that's what we've seen. Now that we have a system and it's all online, like it's plug and play, like here's the link, start with the first 8 calls and start with making a list and sampling. And if people can't do that, then they're not a builder. But this is another thing I was going to say is, like what Melissa was saying, there are people on all of our teams that want to do this. They just haven't had a system and a process that's simple that they can follow and go through and do. So introducing people to that system, getting them some wins with fast start and enrollments and things like that could turn them into committed and capable builders, or at least consistent sharers. Another thing is, people that aren't on our teams, like this is a great season to be reaching out. Like we're listening to the Find a Builder calls right now. We're looking for committed and capable builders, just like you all are. And like nobody is going to be committed and capable with us if we're not committed and capable ourselves. And so like we're using this season, like for whatever reason, God has us still in Waco, not moving to London, probably not before the summer. So we're like, okay, like 4 months at least where we can invest more deeply into doTERRA and find more builders and help train our team. And yeah, just like we want to see success for all of you. And we're also reaching out to new people to plug into this system. And this is a great time to do it.
And the thing is, like, going back to builders is like, my question is more like, what if you don't do Diamond Club? Then what are you going to do? And are you going to stay stuck where you are because you don't have the increased accountability that Diamond Club provides and the additional incentive that they'll give you with extra money to invest into your business? Because I'm like, when your team stays stuck for too long, it's way harder to restart than it is to like where a lot of you guys are. Like, I wouldn't say you're way stuck. To get restarted again will not take as much effort. But if your team stays at the ranks where they are right now for next year, then what happens? So anyways, I just think, yeah, the time is now. And I like just can see so many of you guys experiencing increased success. And I think you'll get into Diamond Club and you'll love it way more than you thought, because seeing your leaders and your sharers equipped through those daily mentor calls and seeing them succeed and being able to be a part of that, like, it's gonna be fun.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah.
No, thanks, Tyler. Just Kristen.
No.
All right.
So I did look back, and I did have 2 in PV, right?
100 PV.
Yeah, so I did have 2 in November, and I had 1 in December, and I have 1 in January if you can count a 3 PV orphan.
They have to be all in the same month, but I still think that your November would get you close enough that they would still consider you for an application. And I think now that you're listening to the daily mentor calls, I think going back and remaking a list and trying to sample enough people to get 3 enrollments in February in a BOGO month is totally doable. It could be enrollments from a class of a customer that doesn't want to build too. They don't have to be like contacts of your own. Anybody. Get one of your most excited customers and have them host a class for you.
I feel like
sample.
I feel like I do have some things in place. My leader is going through a really tough time. they're hanging in there, and we do have a Facebook group, accountability group. We are going through the mentor calls, and right now I'm memorizing scripts, and I've got one that says, "Hey, I'm ready to role play." So I mean, we are moving forward, and I think there's 6 of us in there. There's the 4 of us plus two others. Yeah, there's 6 in the group. So anyway. I heard that, I don't know if it was from Marie Cottam. I don't know who it was, but they said that we're not doing BOGOs in February.
I don't think anybody would know that.
I wonder who I heard that from. Okay, it was from Marie.
I don't know how she would know that.
If anyone would know, Marie would know.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised that I
But
imagine they'll do something. It might not be BOGOs, but I mean, who knows? I don't know. To us, it's like, I don't know.
why do you say if anyone knows, Marie would know? I don't know why Marie would know.
Just because she's at
She
corporate.
lives at corporate.
But I also think if anybody
I don't think
would
your
say
AMs
something
probably
like that, it
even
would
know.
be Marie, even if she didn't.
I think that's, I don't know. Whatever. I feel like that information, all it does is discourage people. I wouldn't share any of that with anyone.
Right.
I haven't shared that with anyone. I think in the post, she was presenting some kind of a, we don't have BOGOs. We want to keep our momentum going.
For some reason, Marie's not jumping on board with the Lisa's stuff, which I'm a little disappointed about. I think that's the BOGOs that we have access to in February, is like really reaching back into our team, our shares, and builders, and even just our excited customers, and getting them to start sharing with their friends effectively.
Yeah.
I've never met a sharer that shares effectively. They all just give stuff away. So I think if they could really see how to really bless someone by helping them have one oil at a time until they get results, I think they would love how they feel, like more effective in helping too. And like Chris said, if they could get $25 or a rose roller or something that would be exciting to them, why wouldn't they want to do it the right way? Like, no one wants to do it the wrong way. We could chat for a long time.
I did just find that the points and standings that are used to earn prizes are from enrollments, LRPs, and then rank advancements. So there's not specifics, but I would assume that it's the same as it normally is.
Oh, it does actually list your diamond. It's under Diamond Club benefits. So you'd earn points if you rank advanced during the month. You'd get 2 points for enrollments, standard enrollments, 4 points for 200 plus, and then 2 months afterwards on LRP, you'd also get points. But yeah. But I don't know, unless maybe Emily. I feel like I don't know for anyone else, but I just want to see some momentum on my team. I don't care if I walk away with $10,000 if I can, cool, but yeah, so the points don't really matter unless you are trying to go for prizes.
If I walk away with $10,000 and you're on my team, we're taking a trip. Oh.
Am I considered on your team?
Yeah,
I mean,
you are supporting me.
Upline
And
listing.
anyone who's supporting me, $75 a month, you come too.
Yay.
Oh, so they have new member perks right here. So the monthly incentive. So the first month would be for 100 PV enrollment, it'd be a Citrus Bliss. For a 300 plus PV enrollment, it's Citrus Bliss plus Adaptive.
Ooh.
Maybe that's all the promotion actually throughout the season. Oh yeah, it says the product promotions will remain the same throughout the season. So Citrus Bliss for 100 to $299 PV, and then 300 plus PV get a Citrus Bliss and Adaptive.
And you can all be strategic. Like doTERRA gives amazing prizes, and there will likely be other promos going on during some of those months, potentially, right? Historically, there have been. But if you feel like you need to push enrollments more one month than the month before, maybe it's just a struggle month, like you can incentivize beyond those. So know that you can put some strategies and some thought into it, and that's where your upline will be really helpful for you.
So I'm just gonna like sum up. If you're on this call and you're thinking like, I want to do Diamond Club, what I would be thinking about is first like knocking through the daily mentor calls, making sure you're through those, and then I would really like hone in on your list, and I would think about who are the 5, 6s, and 7s on there that you have not talked to yet about doTERRA, and I would start reaching out to them and sample them. So you can get some enrollments this month, and so also you have the potential towards more builders on your team. With the daily mentor calls, I mean, like listen to the builder calls too. They've really been like opening my mind. I'm like, wow, I never present the business like ever like this, with the exception of like Rachel Taylor. Anyways, so all that to say, be listening to those. Look at your list, start sampling, and I would say have a goal for yourself. Like tell yourself, like, I want to sample, I would say at least 10, if not 15 or 20 people personally. So you can go through Elise's process and be confident yourself. And then the second thing I would do is I would really hone in on a list of like, who are all the wellness advocates on my team? Like I would go to your detailed genealogy, print it off, have every single one of them, make it your goal to either you contact them, or if you have a committed and capable builder that enrolled them, have them reach out and create some sort of an incentive. Maybe it's a On Guard plus Rose plus Melissa roller bottle or something, like just something that your peers would be excited about. Or maybe it's like what Emily said, if it's somebody that's worth it, you could do like a $25 gift card to Target or something like that. But just create something fun for your team as a challenge for them to listen through at least the first 8 daily mentor calls. Those are the ones about sampling, because once you get them started, they'll get excited likely and they'll keep going. So do that. And then I would create like some sort of a meeting, if you have local people especially, where you can do some like in-person planning for Diamond Club and what classes you want to offer locally with the incentives you get through Diamond Club. And then also I have experienced a lot of benefit just like the last couple weeks through getting some of my committed and capable builders to do like script training. It's amazing how I script trained with one of them via Zoom. She left and she's done like 10 phone calls at least to sample people, and she's all excited now, and she has never done that. This is Rachel Taylor, I might as well tell you. Like she's experienced success, but she's never called people, and now she's calling people for the first time, and it's going great. So anyways, practice, plan a time where you can meet with your people, empower them even more to know how to do script training. And then last, but probably the most important, have conversations with your support network and like be thinking about like, what are the ways that I can feel well supported through Diamond Club, and plan that out for yourself. Thanks for joining, Danny. So anyways,
Can I add?
And then we have to figure out sponsors.
Yeah, you have to actually apply and sponsor. Like we'll sponsor all of you.
But I would say you have to be reaching out to other sponsors.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be a single, like the only sponsor for someone.
Yeah. And then I would also like schedule your first class even this far out. Like you put them on the books, you get everything lined up so that you know you're in class that first week of March. Because if you
teach it in February, then you're booking classes from that class.
Yeah.
So
I would just say like, don't wait till March, or don't even wait till February 25th to like start planning, because then you get behind. And as much as we wish, there are not 3 days between each month. It's like one month ends, the next one starts, right? You all get that?
Does a vendor show count as a class?
I would say as long as there's 2 enrollments from it, it's an event. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Would anyone disagree with that? I haven't seen like, I know in regular Diamond Club, didn't you have like 3 days after the event for them to enroll for it to count for that event? Is that the same? I haven't seen anything about that.
I don't know, because you had the hug rule before, so I'm not sure. I'm sure there'll be some standard for it, but I haven't seen anything about that either.
Yeah. Well, I assume they're going to do codes again. We didn't have these promo codes. Did you have a promo code, Emily, for your enrollments?
Yeah, I had a code that I was able to share with builders, which was really nice, where you guys had to do all the admin work yourselves. So that had changed. And I think that there's an app now. So it's like even easier.
At the Diamond Retreat, they showed us the app that they were building, and it looked awesome. This was in July. But the biggest part that people loved about it was that you could like take pictures of your gas receipts, and it would track mileage for you and like all that stuff. So since there's no travel requirements, I assume they're not going to have that. But it also like showed you like how many points you had and where you were standing and how much you had left to, like how many enrollments you still needed and all that stuff. So I don't know if they're still going to have that app. I hope so. It looked really great. I imagine that code, they'll probably still do a promo code, and it'll just be like valid for a certain amount of time or something. That's what I would think.
Am I the only one that can't log into their account today?
I logged into it today, but I know people have been having problems with it. I saw that on Facebook today.
We've both logged in this morning.
Wow.
Should I log out so you can log in?
I don't really know how to clear the cache, which I know is what they're gonna tell me if I ask. Emily, how do I do that?
I'm sorry. What are you asking to do? I'm sending an email confession.
How do you clear the cache on your browser?
That's a John Paulson question. You're asking the wrong half. I wonder if it's up in settings. So like history. Where's people tab? View.
Are you on Chrome or what are you on?
Yeah, I guess you could try it on a different browser.
What?
It was not on Chrome, I don't think. But that's a good idea. Anyway, y'all don't have to stay on to hear my problems.
Thank you guys all for joining.
I just cleared my browsing data. Maybe I should do a tutorial now.
Yeah.
Do you know how to do it?
Yes.
I don't.
Chris, you also don't know how to log into your back office, so.
I just did this morning before you even.
She logs in at least once. Usually just to enroll people.
Okay, I'm going to give you the update if that worked in just 1 second here. I know y'all this is a nail biter for everybody.
I know how to clear the history, just so y'all understand that.
So that's what it took. I cleared it, I got on Chrome, and we're good. Okay, thanks, friends.
Bye, friends.
Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
Stacy.
Yeah.